Hey guys, Chef Lucas here. We're back in my restaurant. Today for the virtual Pinky Swear Gala, we're going to be cooking up some roasted butternut squash and spinach stuffed shells. Let's get started. Butternut squash stuffed shells. My family gets absolutely excited whenever I make these, and they're quite delicious and they're super easy to make. First things first, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And next, you'll want to bring a pot of salted water to a boil and cook your shells according to the package directions. What you want is you want to cook your shells to al dente, and al dente is a term meaning to the tooth or slightly undercook. Now, we want to slightly undercook our shells because we're going to be roasting these for about 30 minutes. Alrighty, so let's go through our ingredients here. So what we're going to need is we're going to need some butternut squash. This is going to be the very first thing that we need to do because this is getting roasted and it'll take about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this baby in half. I'll cut the ends off here. Trim off the rind here. Awesome. Okay, I'll need to grab a spoon. There we go. Sweet. Alrighty, so now that our butternut squash is chopped up into about 1/2-inch cubes, we're going to put these on a sheet tray with a little bit of olive oil. Go ahead, we'll want to spread it around here. We're going to go ahead and pop these babies in the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. Okay, so now that we got our butternut squash in the oven, it is time to go through the rest of our ingredients. Alrighty, so what we're going to need is we're going to need about a tablespoon of butter, 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar, about 2.5 tablespoons of ricotta cheese. We'll need about 1/2 cup of diced tomatoes, about 4 ounces of some fresh baby spinach. We got some fresh mint, fresh sage, and some fresh basil, as well as 1/2 cup of onion and a couple tablespoons of bell pepper. Alright, so first I'll go ahead, dice up the onion here. So about 1/2 an onion is all you really need for this. When it comes to bell pepper, remember, don't throw away this end because there's still pepper on this, so you don't want to waste it. So we'll want to set this aside. Go ahead and we'll peel our garlic here. Alright, so we got our minced garlic clove, and now go ahead and we'll cut up our basil. We'll roll it up here. And then we'll want to divide this basil by half. Got our basil, now we got our fresh sage. Leave it for later, and then we got some mint. Now we got about 1/2 of each. Got my tomatoes here. We're gonna need about 1/2 cup of some diced tomatoes. Alrighty guys, my shells here just got done. The recipe calls for about 8 shells. I did a little more than that just to make sure, because some will most likely rip, so I recommend doing more than the 8 shells. Plus you might have a little bit of stuffing left over to do more than 8. But yeah, here the shells are al dente, just slightly undercooked. So when we roast these shells in the oven, they won't overcook, and they should be perfectly cooked. So these look really nice. So let's start making our filling. Alrighty guys, our ingredients are all prepped. Let's start making the filling. Alright, so first things first, we want to get a medium-sized pot on medium heat. We want to add a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to add about a 1/4 cup or half of the onion, 2 tablespoons of our diced peppers. And we want these to get super soft. We'll season them with a little salt and some fresh ground black pepper. And now what we need to do is we just need to wait for these veggies to get nice and soft, which will take around anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. Alrighty, so our veggies are soft, took about 5 minutes or so. Now we're going to add our spinach. Want about 4 ounces of spinach, half a tablespoon of basil, and about a teaspoon of sage and a teaspoon of mint. Give it a little bit more oil. Pinch of salt. A little bit of black pepper. And you just want to cook these until they're nice and wilted. This is nice and wilted. We'll go ahead and add this to our bowl. Alrighty, so we got our spinach mixture here, and now in order to make the filling, we'll add about 2.5 tablespoons of ricotta cheese and about a cup of the roasted squash. Okay, then we'll just want to mix this together until thoroughly combined, and then we'll set this aside. Alrighty guys, now that we've made our filling, it's time to make our sauce. This is a delicious sauce. It's quite good. So, in the same pan that we cooked our veggies in, we're going to go ahead, we'll add a little bit of olive oil. And then we're going to add the garlic and our onion. And we're going to want to stir this together for about 2 to 3 minutes. Season with some salt, a little bit of black pepper. Alrighty, the veggies are soft. Now we're going to add our tomatoes. Give that a little stir. We'll add our sugar, about 2 teaspoons of sugar, and our remaining basil, sage, and mint. Alrighty, so it's been about 2 minutes or so, and as you can see, our vegetables here are nice and soft. So now we are going to add the half and half. And then we'll let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. So we'll want to add a little over a 1/4 cup of this. I'd say that's about right. All right there. I'll give that a little pinch of salt. We'll bring that to a simmer, and we'll let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. Alrighty, our sauce is now done. It's been simmering for about 10-15 minutes. Let's bring it over to our Ninja KitchenAid here. So we'll go ahead, we'll pour our sauce into here. We got our sauce. side. And then we'll add about a 1/4 cup of our roasted butternut squash. And then we're going to blend this until it's nice and smooth. Okay, take a look at our sauce here. Wow. Alrighty, so we got our sauce here. I'll go ahead and just pour a little bit on our baking sheet here. And we basically just want a bed for the shell, a bed of sauce for the shells to sit on. We got our filling here. And we got our shells here. Now I'm just going to stuff these. Stuff our shells, which is, you can estimate about like a tablespoon or so of stuffing, right, the shells. These look awesome. Alrighty. Alrighty guys, so I got my shells here. I was able to do one extra one, so I was able to get 9. But now we're gonna want to just just drizzle our sauce over the shells here, just like this. Alright, and we're gonna want to top these off with some panko breadcrumbs. We're gonna want to shred some Parmigiano Reggiano on top, and you can just do as much as you want. This is all to your liking. Let's get the foil on top and into the oven. Pull these babies out. Would you look at that? Alrighty guys, I'm here in the front of my Butternut. We just made these amazing butternut squash stuffed shells, and I am excited to try these. These look absolutely delicious. Oh wow. They're very hot. Can't wait to try them. Now this is awesome. You guys need to make this at home. Wow, you can really taste the sauce. The spinach is seasoned beautifully. The sauce is also seasoned beautifully. Wow, you can really taste the butternut squash that's in the sauce. Wow, this is absolutely delicious. You guys really need to make this at home. In the meantime, I'm gonna finish these. I'll see you guys later.